Hi, everyone. It's Catherine Sen. I'm going to play Swan Lake for you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the North Shore Unitarian Sunday service. Brought to you through the wonders of Zoom and YouTube and the extraordinary technical crew who have so skillfully orchestrated the service as we individually sit at home in our slippers and bring you, I hope, joy on another COVID day. Please join me in the lighting of our chalice, perhaps by lighting one of your own at home. We have our chalice here, which I will put up here. so we can see it. We kindle this flame as a symbol of our gathering. And may the light of understanding illuminate our darkness, and may the warmth of sharing bring us peace. I'm Leslie Gibbons, and I'm your service associate this morning. And I'm very pleased to welcome a guest speaker today. Karl Perrin has generously agreed to give our reflections this morning from the comfort of his home. Now, you'll meet him in a little while, but let me tell you a bit about him. Karl is a lifelong Unitarian. He learned activism at Sunday school in Detroit, and he's been an environmental activist since 1993. He wrote an anti-pipeline divestment resolution passed by a wide majority at the Unitarian Church of Vancouver. In 2013, he started learning about the benefits of actively practicing gratitude. Now, it provides the resilience his environmental activism requires. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing him speak in a little while. Well, life is stressful around here, isn't it? Back to meetings on Zoom or YouTube, back to staying home, close to home, without visitors or without visiting, finding ourselves very cautious, if not quite anxious, worried about those we love who might be healthcare workers or teachers or working with the public, worried for our friends or loved ones who might be in care facilities and who are health compromised in some way. It's difficult to stay balanced, to find some shred of normalcy, to keep our humor, to keep our patience. Hard for me. I'd like to show you a picture and tell you a little story that relates to this. And I hope that Ross can put up the picture. I have a 6-year-old granddaughter whose teacher sent home the following message that she had given her students the other day. And I think it's worth repeating and remembering when we can. She showed her students a picture of a cup overflowing with colorful cubes. And this is what she said to them. Today we use this cup to chat about the feelings of being overwhelmed. We all have cups that collect our stressors. It can take a little or a lot to fill your cup, depending on its size. Some people have a bigger cup for holding stressors, and some people just have a smaller one. But when you have too many stressors filling your cup, it can overflow. It can look different for different people. Sometimes even stressors are abundant. For example, adults may have to complete extra tasks to make holidays special, or children might have to experience changes in a pandemic, and they have to learn new things about how to stay safe. Now let's talk about how important it is to keep this cup idea in mind when we're spending time with people at school or in stores or at home. We need to remember to be gentle with others, especially these days, and give an extra thought to how full someone else's cup could be. What a wise woman to help her little students to understand that the adults in their lives might be overwhelmed sometimes, and that they might be too. And when someone is overwhelmed, they may not show their best selves. And this is a message for all of us, isn't it? And I'm very grateful for her wisdom. Now, let's enjoy hymn number 1. Morning Has Broken with Allison and Daryl at home on Bowen Island. It's number 38 in your gray hymnal if you have one. And I encourage you to just sing at the top of your lungs at home. Here we go.
Morning has broken word is spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Beautiful. Thank you, Allison and Daryl in the background. And another thank you I owe to Allison, who found the following meditation on gratitude. I'd like to introduce you to the Ho'oponopono prayer from the Hawaiian nation, written down by Jason Stevenson. I've edited it for brevity's sake, and I invite you now to settle back comfortably in your chair at home, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and if you find your mind wandering, well, bring your focus back to my voice and let those thoughts drift away. I invite you now to be present in this moment. The words are very simple. I'm sorry. Find forgiveness. I love you. Thank you. These words may be spoken to someone else or perhaps to yourself. Now close your eyes. For your physical body, which holds and protects your mind and spirit in even the most trying situations, and for the times you've not cared for it properly, I'm sorry. Find forgiveness. I love you. Thank you. For your home, whatever it may look like, which gives you a place to rest, to dream, to plan for the future, and of any jealousy or anger you may have for other dwelling places, I'm sorry. Find forgiveness. I love you. Thank you. For your parents who brought you into this world and shaped you into the magnificent being that you are now, for those times you've not communicated clearly with them, for those times that you've not defined boundaries that, although painful, would have strengthened your relationship. I'm sorry. Find forgiveness. I love you. Thank you. And now take a moment to bring to mind all the gifts and opportunities you've been given, for the talents you have and the resources you've been given to pursue them, and the times when you didn't. Find forgiveness. I love you. Thank you. And then, when you're ready, turn your heart and mind to the emotional and spiritual gifts you've been given, for the faith traditions you may have been raised to and the lessons they taught you, for the romantic partners who taught you how to love, for your family and those people who feel like family, who make you laugh, who comfort you when you cry, for your own love and compassion towards them. for those remaining attentive and caring no matter what life brings. Love them. Thank you. And now, as we journey closer to the end of this meditation, realize you're able to find beauty and gratitude wherever you go. For every single thing, living or non-living, is a gift, if only you look at it that way. Look closely and believe your life is beautiful. The world is beautiful, and everything is possible. So find forgiveness. I love you, and thank you. Now, please open your eyes, come back into the room, and welcome Karl Perrin to our community as he gives his first reflection. Thank you, Karl.
Good morning. My name is Karl Perrin. I go to the Unitarian Church of Vancouver, and I'm beaming to you from the top of Burnaby Mountain this morning. And I'd like to thank the technical team that has made this all possible. This is really historic. During this time of pandemic, as we hunkered down once again, with wings clipped, but roots thriving, listen to what Marcel Proust wrote about discovery. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. I believe that my daily practice of writing gratitudes has given me new eyes. I believe that a daily practice of written gratitudes can give anyone new eyes. With a daily practice of written gratitude, we sharpen our awareness of the kindness of others. And that makes us happier, that makes us kinder, and we generate a virtuous circle of cooperation. Today, I hope to strengthen our gratitude muscles from the research of psychologist Robert Emmons and from environmental activist, Buddhist, and author Joanna Macy. When we open our eyes to the loving kindness of others, we feel grateful and we want to pass it on. Gratitude takes us to deeper levels of love. In 1993, I heard Joanna Macy, and also I went to jail in Clayoquot Sound. 1993 was the year I read Al Gore's book, Earth in the Balance, and I got lost emotionally. Al Gore called our society dysfunctional in the face of threats like runaway climate change. The message was clear. If we continued with business as usual, civilization would collapse by 2050. In 2050, our son, Ben, will be 66. I made a vow to him that I would do everything in my power to prevent such a collapse. Then in 2030, when I'm 85, I'll stand before him and say, I did my best. So with that vow, I found my way home emotionally. And then I asked myself, how could I be effective and not burn out? I decided to join the Environment Committee of the Unitarian Church of Vancouver, where I could balance cold science with the warmth of community, art, and spirit. Jim Stevenson of your congregation tells me that an environmental action team has just been launched here at North Shore Unitarians. He says, read the article in the winter newsletter and find out how to get involved. Follow the link to the online survey in that article or in the Friday e-bulletin. So please consider joining your new environmental action team. I know you will be happier working as a team. I learned about gratitude by practicing Joanna Macy's work that reconnects. As a committed environmental activist, in this work, there are 4 stages. 1, gratitude, being grounded in gratitude. 2, honoring our pain for the world. 3, seeing with new eyes. And 4, going forth into action. Gratitude is the first stage. Because gratitude is empathic, it generates what Thich Nhat Hanh calls interbeing. Interbeing helps us see our joys and sorrows in the context of community joys and sorrows and community resources. The second stage is honoring our pain for the world. Honoring our pain recognizes the value of facing up to our predicament. If there's no fear, there's no courage. If there's no courage, there's no leaving our comfort zone, no leaving our fossil-fueled business as usual comfort zone. It takes courage to live simply so that others may simply live, as Gandhi wrote. The third stage is seeing with new eyes. Macy writes, in the third stage, we step further into the perceptual shift that recognizes our pain for the world as a healthy expression of our belonging to life. Seeing with new eyes reveals the wider web of resources available to us through our rootedness within a deeper ecological self. This third stage, seeing with new eyes, opens us to a new view of what is possible and a new understanding of our power to make a difference. The fourth and final station, going forth, involves clarifying our vision of how we can act for the healing of our world, identifying practical steps to move our vision forward, unquote. And then we return to gratitude and the cycle repeats, but at a deeper level. In fact, as I will show, a daily practice of written gratitude makes us so happy and healthy, so grateful, that we want to heal what can be healed. We want to serve and express our gratitude through well-grounded generosity. Joanna Macy and the threat of nuclear war. Macy quotes Franz Kafka. You can hold yourself back from the sufferings of the world. That is something you are free to do, and it accords with your nature. But perhaps that very holding back is the one suffering you could avoid. In other words, truth may be beautiful, but it often isn't pretty. Joanna Macy's first book was called Despair and Personal Power in the Nuclear Age, written before the end of the Cold War, when many of us despaired of humanity surviving a nuclear war or a nuclear winter. Do you remember those days? Fear was rampant. As she worked with burned out anti-nuclear activists, Macy did not deny that fear. She showed how fear is the starting point for courage, and practicing gratitude provides ballast as we venture into the stormy seas of nonviolent direct action, such as the 19-year-long women's peace camp at Greenham Common in the UK. So somehow in the 90s, we avoided nuclear annihilation and lung cancer. We didn't think that we could, but we did. And in our time, we have the slow motion train wreck known as climate change or global warming. Just like the nuclear arms race, the industrial growth society is insane. And yet we are embedded in it, tooth and claw. Digging up the tar sands, steaming out the sand and clay, mixing it with condensate and pushing it is insane. I was born into this madness in Detroit, now in ruins. And now here we are on the edge of the Pacific, fighting pipelines, coal ports, fracking, fighting to preserve Burns Bog and the Fraser River Delta, where 5 million birds rest on their annual migration, where millions of salmon come home. I would give up were it not for gratitude. I am so grateful to SFU Professor Tim Tuccaro, MD, who sat up in a tree for 11 days and nights on the banks of the Brunette River, trying to delay the deadly Trans Mountain pipeline. I am grateful to Quaker Ruth Walmsley and Unitarian Catherine Hemling, who are about to do the same. Where Quakers lead, Unitarians will follow. You have to be emotionally strong to do this work. I believe the daily practice of gratitude gives me that strength. So let's explore gratitude. And we will explore gratitude and how gratitude creates well-being after this musical interlude. Robert Emmons, psychologist at the University of California, has spent his career researching gratitude. Professor Emmons encourages us to see what we are grateful for as gifts. The practice of gratitude simply helps us to see them with new eyes and accept them as gifts. One of Robert Emmons' practical gratitude books is called Thanks, How Practicing Gratitude Can Make You Happier. Whether you want to practice gratitude to turn despair into empowerment, to be sane in an insane world, or as Emmons suggests, just to be happier, this book has solid recommendations backed by top quality research. As Einstein said, science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. What is gratitude? Why get serious about it? And what is the most efficient and effective way to practice gratitude? Beth It reviews positive psychology books for Amazon.ca. Beth gives this thanks book by Robert Emmons 5 out of 5 stars. She says, quote, "There are 3 things that determine your happiness: circumstances, genetics, and intentional activities. Cultivating gratitude is an intentional activity, one you can practice that has been shown to increase happiness levels. But does it really work? In a word, yes, and I can say this with certainty because the author and others have conducted randomized controlled trials that have proven that cultivating gratitude can not only make one happier, but healthier as well. Here is a simple book that convincingly showed me that something as small and easy to do as being thankful not only has the potential to change a person, but perhaps the rest of the world too. Thanks for a great book," unquote. One common misunderstanding, which Beth repeats in her review, is that something as small and easy to do as being thankful, etc. Emmons is actually quite clear that the practice of gratitude as a daily practice of expressing gratitude either in a journal or directly to the person, divine presence, or Gaia to whom one is grateful is neither small nor easy. In defining his gratitude, Emmons says, quote, "First, gratitude is the acknowledgement of goodness in one's life. Second, gratitude is recognizing that the source of this goodness lies at least partially outside the self. The object of gratitude is other-directed. One can be grateful to other people, to God, to animals, but never to oneself. Gratitude implies humility, a recognition that we could not be who we are or where we are in life without the contribution of others," unquote. Gratitude implies humility. Humility is rarely a Unitarian strength. Perhaps centuries of nonconformity have made us a bit defensive. We often believe we are smarter, more honest, more courageous, or more ethical than others. Maybe we are, maybe we could be. But without gratitude, this self-congratulatory smugness cripples us. Gratitude, according to Emmons, requires recognizing our indebtedness to others. That's not a comfortable feeling. We really are indebted to others for peace, for our comfortable lives, for our longevity, our food, for our hot running water, for everything. Without others, our lives would be impossible. We take so much for granted, but the practice of gratitude helps us perceive the innumerable gifts coming our way, gifts which we gladly and humbly accept. Humility is a good thing. We are blessed when we perceive that our cup runneth over. We want to give and we want to serve. When grounded in gratitude, we trust that feelings will come and go like cycles of dark and light. We stop pushing against suffering, we relax, and we become useful. Emmons says, gratitude requires that we affirm our dependency on others. So it's a hit to our ego that we are not so independent after all. But gratitude strengthens our interdependent selves. We exist more, not less, when we let go and accept that we are only a part of the interdependent web of all existence. True humility allows us to see that planetary survival is not only on our shoulders, not only up to us geniuses. All species have a survival instinct, and they are teaching us, inspiring us. Remember the orca mother Tahlequah mourning her calf for 17 days. Joanna Macy teaches that we can rest in the great hammock of all species survival instinct. We have many allies, and we can be grateful for that. By the way, when you keep a gratitude journal, you have to write down your gratitudes. Dictating into your cell phone doesn't work. I tried it. I could think gratitude, but it didn't sink into my heart. You've got to feel grateful, not just think it. And then it becomes your mind's default instead of just worrying all the time. I know parents are worried about their kids being in school or not being in school. Of course, parents worry. Teachers worry. I'm a healthcare worker. I worry. But gratitude can give you new eyes. Your congregation is with you in these unsettled times. As Dr. Bonnie says, be kind, be calm, and be safe. Before I close, I want you to know that there are many ways to write gratitude. For example, in Robert Emmons' book, Gratitude Works, a 21-day program for creating emotional prosperity, he offers 7 gratitude exercises. My favorite is the gratitude letter. Writing to someone I'm grateful to and telling them why I'm thanking them. Isn't that something we never quite get around to actually doing? I'm writing those letters, and believe me, it has a lasting impact. I can feel the dopamine surging through my brain. I will close with this quote from Thanks by Robert Emmons. An additional essential aspect of gratitude is the notion of undeserved merit. When I am grateful, I recognize that I have no claim on the gift or benefit I received. It was freely bestowed out of compassion, generosity, or love. The theological term for this is grace. So we have another trio of terms that go together: grace, gratis, and gratitude. They flow into one another. Perceive grace, and you will naturally feel gratitude. Grace is unearned. It is a free gift, gratis. If you believe in grace, you believe that there is a pattern of beneficence in the world that exists quite independently of your own striving and even your own existence. Unquote. Sister Cedar, thank you for your oxygen. Brother Salmon, thank you for your delicious nutrition. Gentle people, thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for your trust. Now let's help each other strengthen our gratitude muscles. Every day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. Every day, write down to whom you are grateful. Let this be our prayer. May the year be kind to us. May the year be filled with unexpected gifts. May we consider our great fortune to be alive in this rare, short life. May everyone be grateful.
A day in December, the sun on my face, in the middle of motion, one quiet place, at the center of strangers, a meeting of souls, an embrace that is treasured wherever I go. When I struggle in shadow, there are voices that come and whisper so low, oh, you know you're a fortunate one. Then I gather my blessings from the light and the dark, and and welcome them into my grateful heart. The blue of the moonlight, all the heavens contain, the madness of music helps keep me safe. At the core of confusion, a small flame that grows there to guide me wherever I go. Sighting the Spirit, my feelings grow numb. Then it comes like a kiss. Remember this, you're a fortunate one. Then I gather my blessings from the light and the dark and welcome them into my grateful heart. A day that's remembered in a small sacred space, walking toward balance, praying for grace. I gather my blessings like the gifts that they are and place them quite gently in my grateful heart. When I struggle in shadow, there are voices that come and whisper so low, oh, you know, you're a fortunate one. Then I gather my blessings from the light and the dark and welcome them into my grateful heart. Thank you, Daryl.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Once again, Allison, thank you. I would love now to read you a pastoral prayer written by Liz James. Well, it's more like a plea than a prayer, an urgent plea for you to look after yourself at a time when it's particularly difficult to do so. With so many problems that call on your better half, it's a hope that with all the gratitude you hold, that you don't lose yourself in these difficult times. It's a reminder that you must put your oxygen mask on first. Here we go. You are not on call for the pain in the world. I know you feel every hit of the hammer, beating plowshares into swords and people into plowshares. And every time you fail to step between the blow and its target, the injustice is sewn into your bones too. And so when the hammer rises, you must rise with it, raising your voice, your eyes, your awareness, your body, whatever part of you that can be given as an offering. But you can't stay this way forever, sewn into this cacophony of blows, every movement of yours a follow, until your body is owned by the drumbeat of the rising of weapons, until your days string together in a stuttering heartbreak of rage, and you cannot catch your breath. But this is what you promised to those who don't get to choose whether or not to show up for the fight, to those whose very bodies thrust themselves into the ring. You promised that you would hold nothing back. I know. Except you can't be on call for all the pain in the world. It's not work that can be done without sleep. When we said that people are too sacred to be beaten into plowshares or swords, we meant you. We need you for the fight. We need you for all the things that are less and more than fighting. We need you to be ready to listen in the soft way earth listens to rain in the hours before dawn, to be tender, to cradle precious things, to hold the smell of dew in your hair, to hum the song that flowers will rise up to, for the earth to hear. I need you to stay in love with the world.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Thank you, Allison. We are the North Shore Unitarians, and our mission is to empower people to live with depth, meaning, and purpose. And in this community, we celebrate people from all walks of life. No matter how you experience the sacred, no matter who you are or who you love, we hope you feel welcome here. If this is one of your first times participating in our Sunday service from home, we'd love you to say hi. You can say that in the comments section. I know we'd love to hear from you. Despite COVID, we are a busy congregation. We've got a lot going on. So please read your weekly e-bulletin. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do that by clicking on the link in the YouTube description or by calling our office, speaking to Janny, and she has the information you need. Now, here are a few things that I particularly want to draw your attention to this morning. And first of all, I'd like to call on Jonathan to give us a stewardship update.
For those who do not know me well, I am Jonathan Fountain. Along with Karen Epp, I have led the stewardship team this year, and we wanted to provide you an update of where we have arrived and where we are going. But first, I wanted to take a moment to express gratitude. The stewardship campaign can only occur due to the commitment and dedication of the steward group leaders, Ian Shearer, Joyce Silver, Judith Radford, Merrick Walsh, and Barry Forbes, who each led small teams in making connections and calls and meetings. This campaign can only happen because of the efforts and commitment of the additional 25 members of our congregation who volunteered as stewards, reaching out and deepening their connections to this community, and to those who shared their memories and sense of community through their testimonials. This campaign only happens because of Reverend Ron, Lynn, Allison, and Janny, who guide us through this spiritual practice of giving. To all of them, for all they have done to continue to weave this web of community, we feel deeply grateful. And finally, this campaign only succeeds because the congregation is open and welcoming of receiving these opportunities for connection and to pledge their support. So many have volunteered their time and talent to hold up our community during these times, and I'm heartened by the response to continue that with our pledges of support. To each of you in our community, and on behalf of the stewardship team, I offer a heartfelt thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, on to the outcome of these last weeks. As you may recall, we did try to manage this campaign via our online tools as much as we could. That led to success and some challenges, but we were very gratified by the participation in the online survey and pledging process. To date, we've received over 100 pledges, representing about 70% of the number of pledgers from recent years, so not quite yet meeting our goal. The stewardship leaders continue to follow up with those members of our congregation that haven't yet been reached or have requested some alternative means of connecting. Overall, our pledge level is residing at about 85% of what we have seen over the last several years. Again, the leadership team will be continuing our efforts over the next few weeks to make connections and summarize all the feedback we received from the stewardship survey, and then we will be updating the board as to our progress at the next board meeting. In these challenging times, there remains some work to do, as was to be expected, but I have witnessed so many offer their time and talent to make this campaign a success, on top of many other commitments, and I have been encouraged by this community's generosity and feel deeply grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. And thank you, community, for coming through in these difficult times. So appreciated. I want to extend a special thank you and a round of applause to Karl, who courageously joined us on our journey this morning. It was a run with something new, and you were up for it. And I loved hearing what you had to say. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And a special round of applause for the technical team in the background. CNN's got nothing on them. They are doing such a fabulous job, and it's difficult. And there are unexpected glitches. We faced one this morning, we overcame it. Thank you for your patience and your kindness through that. Now, one more announcement. We are this year, the NSUC is sponsoring one family and 3 seniors in our Christmas hamper project. We hope you'll be able to contribute this year. The wish lists and details are in our weekly e-bulletin. We're asking folks to sign up for the items they can purchase by December 2nd at the latest if you can, but I hope you'll sign up as soon as possible. Now, after the service, we invite you, using the link, again in the e-bulletin, to join us for our breakout rooms to discuss the service and anything else that might be on your mind at the moment. It goes for maybe half an hour, can go longer. Each group will have a leader, and it won't be recorded. And I hope that you join one of those groups to extend your Sunday a little bit longer. Thank you for all that you participate in these activities and for your attention. We hope you found today's service meaningful and will join us again. If you haven't yet done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment. I think now it's time for us to extinguish our chalice. So, I'll bring it back to us and say, we extinguish this flame, but carry with us the light of vision and the warmth of hope. The world calls us to live with depth, meaning, and purpose, and we go forward with courage and love. And one final note, as Dr. Bonnie Henry would say, please stay safe, stay well, wear a mask, keep your distance, and most of all, be kind. Thank you all so much for this morning.